Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing really well today. I am fully aware that I haven't been on YouTube for a while. I just needed to reset. I just needed to have some time on my own, get my degree done, get my dissertation done, which was probably the most challenging time ever in my 23 years. I just needed that time to just get through it and just reset, get on it with my goals and what I really want to do. I think I'm going to start introducing a new element theme to my channel. I am really, well, the past 18 months obviously for all of us have been a ridiculous learning curve, something that, you know, is so unprecedented, and it's kind of got us to grow, and it's kind of forced us to grow. Actually, certainly for me, it's made me just, you know, it's forced that growth, it's forced me to just become a better person, start to love myself more, and I certainly am seeing the differences in 18 months. Like, I don't even feel like the same person from month to month, let alone in a year and a half. So I kind of want to discuss that and discuss what I've learned, the journey that I've been on, not necessarily about me, but just things that have happened that have improved my life, and realizations that I've come to that I really want to share because I feel like it just makes life better. In terms of the new theme within the channel, of course, I'm going to be still doing my fashion, my makeup, my lookbooks, hauls. Want to introduce growth, spirituality, manifestation, goal setting, how to be successful, what I've learned about the world. That is something that I really am passionate about. I love giving advice, whether that be like life advice, goal advice, future advice, career advice. Not that I am so well versed, but just that I've learned a lot and I really want to share that with you. So with that in mind, today's video is going to be about ultimate goal setting and manifesting your success, manifesting things that you want to happen in your life in a really productive and pragmatic way. And ultimately, the best way you can achieve your goals and actually see it in real life is to put it out into the world. So whether that be writing it, speaking it, it's about putting it out in solid, tangible forms. I want to show you the ultimate way to set your goals and actually have them happen. Like, I promise you, if you follow this method and are meticulous, I will be extremely shocked if things don't happen for you. Like, it will. You know who I genuinely think has had success because of this method is Grace Beverly. I mean, I don't know, she hasn't explicitly said this is what has kind of got her the success that she has, but it works. If you read her book, she talks about writing down specific goals, how you know, organize your life, and she puts down her success to her organization. And I really do think that this method is essentially that. It's just that maybe she wasn't actively seeing it as manifestation, but it is. She's very organized, very regimented about what she wants and at what point she wants it, and she will create goals to kind of achieve those bigger goals that you do on a daily basis. And I think this method is pretty much that. Before I get into this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I really do appreciate every single subscriber, every single like, every single engagement that I get, so thank you for doing that in advance. And let's get on to the ultimate goal setting method. So you'll often find with manifestation, detail is kind of the key. That is the overall understanding of how you manifest your goals, how you reach your goals by putting it into tangible form, which is writing and speaking. We're going to be doing writing today. You'll need several pieces of paper because you're going to be writing down a list of goals yearly, a list of goals monthly, a list of goals weekly, and a list of goals daily. Detail will be your best friend in the success of this method, so I definitely think it's important to keep that in mind while following this video. Okay, so to start everything off overall, you need to start with the big goals, because that's what's going to like filter down into the daily goals that are manageable. Because seeing a big goal, like, you know, I want to reach 500,000 followers on TikTok, is very overwhelming. It seems so distant and it seems so far away from perhaps what you are right now. Your body and your mind know that it's a massive jump, and so your subconscious knows that it's not tangible right now, if that makes sense. That's why it's important to have daily, monthly, weekly goals, because then you start to feel like, oh, I'm actually, you know, working towards that goal. It's closer and closer each step of the way. Whereas a big goal is quite domineering and very sort of intimidating. So that's why we need to filter all those goals down into like more manageable daily goals. So as you can see in the clip, I've just written down all the goals that I want to achieve, whatever they are, no matter what time frame you want to have them achieved by, just have them all on a piece of paper. Later on, you're going to color code them and put them into years you actually want to achieve them. In terms of how many years I would kind of project for, I go for like 3 or 5, something like that. I'm just going to put 3 because I feel like I genuinely think I could definitely achieve them within the next 3 years if I really went for it. So I'm only going to put 3. Obviously I can change my mind. I'm going to allocate all those goals into 3 different years: 2021, 2022 and 2023. And as you can see in the clip, that's what I'm doing. I'm just writing down all my goals in the 3 different years that I hope to achieve them. Some of them are of course bigger than others. Some of them are relatively vague as well, and they're deliberately vague at this point because I don't know exactly how it's going to look, and we'll kind of add the detail with the monthly, weekly and daily goals. So once you have all your goals set out, start with 2021 because those are the ones you want to achieve soon. If you want to go into detail for every single one, that's absolutely fine. Definitely do that. It is a little bit time consuming, as you can imagine, but if you kind of don't want to overly focus on every single one with detail, definitely pick a few that you absolutely want to achieve this year with no doubt. It might be 3, 4, 5, however many, and you're going to pick them and you're going to list them at the top of a new page, and you're going to write down for each one every single step that is needed and that you need to take to reach that goal. So one of my goals is to reach 50,000 followers on Instagram by 2021. So I'll write that goal down and then I'll write exactly what I need to do to reach that. That might be, you know, engaging more in stories. That might be contacting brands to try and get some kind of collaboration with them. That might be collaborating with other influencers and getting them to share my profile. It might be making my content better. It might be posting at the right time. It might be engaging with others. There's all these things that I need to do to actually do that. And once you kind of have those things that you need to do, it's pretty easy from there to just make a plan of that per month. So for me, for example, I might want to achieve a certain amount of collaborations, or I might say to myself, each month I need to be posting on my story with my face, you know, on it, you know, actually chatting to my audience. I want to be doing that at least once a week, or I want to be doing that at least 3 times a week. So then you have your monthly plan of what you need to be doing. So the goal may be to be, I don't know, 5 collaborations or 3 collaborations, have contacted or chatted with a certain number of other influencers, have got on my stories, you know, 3 times a week, have engaged with people every day for 20 minutes. And then obviously from there, you can then put that into the week format, and then you can put that into the day format. Some days you might not want to focus on that. You might want to focus on another goal, or you might just want to rest, or you might just want to focus on simply being and just doing your things that you know that are good for your soul. But generally, you can put into place small little goals that you need to do each day to achieve those bigger goals. And then once you kind of have a plan of those things, it's almost like, oh my gosh, I can achieve that now. It's so doable because I know the route to get there. So you're kind of making like a tree diagram. So you have your goal, and then you have all the things you need to do to achieve those goals. And then you need to have specific things you might want to do per month, per week, daily. Even if you just do 1 or 2 things a week towards that goal, that is success, and that is good and very helpful. If you have a certain time by which you want to achieve something, you can have the goal, and then you can write down all the things you need to do to reach that goal within that period of time, and then allocate it between the time that you have until that point that you want to actually enact that goal as the end product. So again, I'll show you an example of that. I really want to relaunch my product by, let's say, mid-September, so roughly a month from now. So during that time, I'll work out all the things that I need to do in that time to make sure that the launch goes smoothly, and what I need to be doing now, or you know, in the next few days, to ensure that that happens in a month's time. So I'll show you an example of that here. I would also recommend prioritizing different goals for different points in time. So for example, you might be prioritizing a certain goal now, and that is okay. You can push aside other goals. I think certainly from my experience, most people have lots of goals going on and lots of little endeavours that they're doing at the same time, and it can be extremely confusing and very overwhelming to have all those things going on and not have a plan for each thing. It's a much more simple when you have one goal that you want to achieve, because you know that you can allocate really as much time as you want to achieving that goal. Whereas when you've got lots of different goals, it can be more challenging to, you know, allocate enough time. So with your range of goals that you might have, maybe prioritize 2 or 3 that is really important to you. you know, within the next few months and prioritize them, and then you know that you can then focus on the other goals in the months after that and so on. So definitely prioritize a few for now so that you get those done and then you can move on. Whereas if you're kind of trying to do everything at once, it moves slower. You might not be able to kind of dedicate your attention to each one. Your energy is split too many times, and it can lead to burnout, which is never good, and it can just lead to feeling very disheartened because you feel like nothing's really going anywhere. I would definitely prioritize a few per month and then move on, achieve those goals. Once those goals have been achieved, then move on to the next month and start your new goals. Little and often is the way forward to achieving your big goals. Like I said, having a really big goal can be extremely intimidating and can feel as though like, oh gosh, I'm never going to achieve that. But little and often, daily, weekly tasks you can do, you will start to feel like you're achieving. You'll start to feel like, yeah, I'm really on the right track. And when you have that plan and when you know exactly how you're going to get there, it's so much easier to envisage the goal being achieved. When you can see it before you and see the kind of method through which you're going to get there, it's so much more possible and you're 100% more likely to achieve it. I think as well, we often forget as a society that having breaks and rests is so important, and not just like a day's rest, like fully a week, month's rest from a certain thing. Of course, we can't always rest or have breaks from our 9 till 5s or from self-care or from doing basic tasks that maintain our ability to live and survive in this society. But I mean, for example, if you have a side hustle and you want to get cracking with that, take your time, no rush, listen to your body. If you're not feeling up to it, if you're feeling tired, have a rest. Don't do it for a month, because I promise you, if you listen to your body and maybe don't do it for a month, it might feel like, oh my god, I feel guilty because I'm not getting on with it, but your body is telling you something, you need rest. And I bet if you came out from it after a month of not doing it, you would feel so much more energized, so much more inspired to actually achieve the goal that you want, that you will think, actually, I really needed that rest and I'm so glad I had it and it was worth it. And actually, most of the time, you're not too late, or you're not wasting time, or you're not getting there quick enough. It's literally so important to listen to your body, because your body knows how much time and energy you can spend and how easily you are or susceptible you are to burnout. So it's important to listen to that and definitely have a rest. There's a difference between motivating yourself for times when you feel a bit sluggish and you know you should probably get on with something, but you just feel like, oh, I just don't really feel in the mood. There's motivating yourself and just getting you to do it, and then you feel great when you do, compared with forcing yourself to do it when you just need a rest. And I think it's really important to understand yourself and your limits and your boundaries, to not overdo it. One ends up being a great thing because you get a little bit of productivity done, even if it's not that much, even if, you know, you really have to motivate yourself, at least you've done a little bit of productivity, compared with just procrastinating. And procrastinating is not productive, and it's just not healthy, and it just doesn't ever have a great outcome, and you end up coming out of it more burnt out than you probably went into it. So there is a difference, and it's important to understand that in yourself, what that difference is, and your own boundaries and own limits, because once you understand that, you're pretty much invincible. With kind of goals that maybe don't have a specific end point, or you're not gonna be disheartened if they don't have a specific endpoint. For example, if they don't happen in 2021, are you okay if they happen in 2022? Those kind of big goals, and then the little goals that filter down from that on the kind of tree, I guess, you do not need to overdo it. Definitely spread them out over the course of the month, the week. I feel like some days will be particularly intense, other days will be more chilled out, and you won't have to focus on those things all the time. But definitely, when there's no specific point at which it needs to be achieved, definitely spread it out, take your time, and literally just do the little tasks and little goals to build up to that goal when you can and when you feel like it. There's no point burning yourself out. We have so much time, you know, we can spread these things out. So when you kind of have your tree diagram, you have a physical form of your success. Like, you, right in front of you, you have the physical representation of how you're going to be successful, how you already are successful if you're already putting those tasks in place. And the thing is, it's going to kind of go into spiritual talk here, but for want of a better phrase, it's raising your vibration, because by achieving those goals and by achieving those little tasks, it's literally telling your subconscious that you're successful, you're on that successful plane, because you're working up that sort of pyramid / tree, and it's telling your subconscious that you're already successful, because simply by achieving those little tasks each day, each week, each month, you're obviously elevating yourself, and you're literally acting out the tree to success. So by that, you're successful. It may not be the success that you want right at the end, but by simply achieving those tasks and completing those tasks, you are successful. And that is telling your brain that you're elevating and that you're getting higher and that you're getting there. And that big goal that seems so distant and far away is no longer far away, because you can see it in its physical form and how you're going to get there. And that is very, very comforting and very, very motivating, I think is the right word. You know, it's essentially saying that those things are in motion, those successes, those little tasks that you're completing, the success is in motion, it's moving, it's happening in the present. And I think that is what's so important and so motivating and successful about this particular method. Another really important thing to take away from this is that you need to be speaking in the present tense as if it's already happening. So when you're writing down every single one of your goals, less so perhaps maybe your daily tasks, but when you're writing down your goals, so what you want to achieve, you know, this year, this month, this week, write them in the present tense. Write them as if they are happening right now. So for example, for the 50,000 followers that I want on Instagram, I will say I have 50,000 followers on Instagram, or I am launching my product for the second time. Talk about it as if it's in present tense, because that's again tricking your subconscious into thinking that it's already happening, it is, you know, in motion, and as a result things will start happening. The final thing that you can do as an additional step if you want to, which I find really helps and really propels these things and these successes to keep going, or, you know, go faster, is to speak about things in detail. So giving the example again of I want 50,000 followers on Instagram, I would describe the situation. So I would write in a journal perhaps and say, I have 50,000 followers on Instagram. I could talk about how I got them, what I did to get them, how I feel, what the feeling is like, what I'm now doing with my new followers, you know, how I'm using it to create value, how I'm using my followers and engaging with my followers to achieve goals that I want to achieve by having those number of followers. Basically going into detail, you know, where I am when I reach this number of followers, who I'm with, what time it is, kind of explaining the world around you, putting into detail how you feel, what you can see, what you can hear with your 5 senses, describing in detail as much as you can the situation surrounding achieving that goal. And that again puts out into the universe and tells your subconscious that it's already happening. It seems real, it's so material to you, and that is really going to motivate, propel and spur on achieving those goals. I've done that with a few goals, really over explained, put into detail what I want to see at that point. Again, speaking in the present tense, always speaking in the present tense. I would be extremely shocked if your successes and your goals weren't achieved in the period of time you want them to be achieved. I have no doubt that that will happen if you follow this method and do the detailed description of the feeling of actually achieving that goal. I really, really do think it can happen. Finally, just a small little thing to add to that, always discuss how grateful you are. So especially in the detail when you're talking about achieving that goal and the feeling, talk about how grateful you are, what you're grateful for, which specific aspects you're grateful for, because having gratitude is such a powerful emotion and such a powerful tool to have in your arsenal in terms of achieving those goals, because being grateful for what you already have puts you on a high vibe, increases your energy, gives you more positive energy, which is all really useful and all really helpful to have when trying to achieve those goals. You have to be on a really high vibe, you have to have good energy and positive energy to achieve those goals. And I know from experience, having gratitude and being grateful is really going to spur on and, you know, kickstart those successes. So being grateful is really important. It's definitely important to incorporate that into this process. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope, you know, it's helpful. It certainly has helped me, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I feel like it is a bit of a lengthy process, but worth the action, worth the process. I think it's really therapeutic to do, you know, have it all planned out. I think organisation and planning is always just such a satisfying thing to do. So I hope you do enjoy doing it yourself. I really want to hear your journeys. I really want to hear your successes with it. So definitely comment down below if you follow this method and you see changes and you see, you know, small achievements and even big achievements. I definitely want to hear all about that. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That really helps me out, and I do appreciate every single one of you that engages with me. It's so important, and it really just spurs me on to create more content that hopefully provides value for you. So with that, I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.